Greetings. Thank you for joining the Goddess Breath YouTube channel. And we are in the middle of the Breathwork and Guided Imagery series, the Somatic Imagery series. I'm Dr. Mari, and I am excited today to talk to you about the Brow Chakra, the third eye space in our body, and what this means or how it pertains to us in our everyday, or what we can do to activate it. It takes a little bit of, putting in the effort, also understanding more about it, especially from a healthy perspective, because we wouldn't want to have our third eye energy here, which the pineal gland is behind that, open without it being healthy or imbalanced. And there's a lot that I can say about that, why that's so important. But I really want to just kind of help you with applying it, with why this makes sense, why you would want to work on that. And also to do a breath technique that will help you as well. I have talked a lot about the mythology and particularly the ancient goddess Inanna story, and relate her story in my book, Unveiling the Modern Goddess Through Symbolism, Chakras, and Myth, through the parts of our body, through the energy centers that we've been going through. This particular one has to do with being the visionary. Not everybody's going to be the visionary. Maybe there are people who feel that they are the visionary or have like psychic abilities, but they don't know how to handle it, or they feel like it's a curse. And there's a lot to be said about that, because and I've said this before, if you are only operating in the capacity of your energy field, working with the crown, the third eye, and the throat, maybe just above the heart, maybe the heart's involved there, but you're not working with the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, and the root chakra, then you don't have that sense of connection, right? I think of this heaven and this down here as earth. This idea is to bring these two together in our body. We are the temple. We come together, or we bring together heaven and earth in our bodies. So it's a little tricky, right? It can be a little bit tricky. And one of the things that I feel is helpful is to understand that this area of energy in our body has to do with our inner knowing, inner guidance. It's our inner healing wisdom that we tap into, that can be related to, well, there's intelligence, and then there's intuition, an innate sense. Innate, I think more of in the lower part of the body, that gut instinct. I think of intuition in the upper, here in the brow center chakra. And it's important to recognize, if we work through all of these energies, we're grounded, we are comfortable in the heart space, we have let go of what we don't need. We cleared away, we're working here, and we are getting a really strong intuition about certain things. It's important to trust that. It's possible it could be skewed. It's possible to not know, but to not self-doubt is also important, because we are a human race that self-doubts a lot. And I think about animals. Do animals self-doubt, right? Do they question? Do they hold themselves back? So trusting in that intuition. There's also intelligence. I say this because if you recognize the lines that coil around, this has to do with Kundalini energy. So that serpent energy, I'm just coming up from the heart, that coils around, crosses over, and then crosses over here. There's two, the Ida and the Pingala. One is the intelligence, the other is the intuition. One is masculine, the other is feminine. They come together right here. We can use different names. I have a lot of different names. I have a lot of different descriptions in my book. I'm just trying to keep it simple, basic, to understand, to make sense of it. And that to me is really important, to integrate our intelligence and our intuition so that we're able to see clearly, have the proper perspective, have one that's from being healthy and balanced, integrated. We've worked through everything, right? We worked through. We're not just saying, "Oh, I have a connection to the higher power, and this is how it all is," but you don't have any grounded sense in your earthly body. I think that it's important. I don't know. Maybe some people don't agree with me, and that's okay as well. I'm fine with that. But this is just how I see it. Based on Inanna, the goddess story, because she is noted as Queen of Heaven and Earth. That is her title, Queen of Heaven and Earth. So that's the idea, is bringing that together through the sacred marriage ritual. I talked about that in the other episode, that they come together, you know. That's the important aspect. And then how do you project yourself in the world? How do you present yourself in the world? What is it that you want others to see in you? And then how do you see? And then how we have our connection with our higher self as well. It's very important. So I hope that makes sense. I don't know if I can go into a whole lot more detail without bringing a lot more in it. But one thing that might be more woo woo, I don't know if you are into astrology or not, but if you are, you might get this, that we have Venus as this bright shining star in the sky. She's one of the brightest stars. Well, Venus was also the morning and evening star. The morning and evening star, so that brought balance. And there's a lot of reason, or I mean, there's a long reason why she's the morning and evening star based on how she moves in the sky in the diagram. However, Inanna was also called the morning and evening star in ancient times. They revered her as the morning and evening star. They lifted her up. They revered and honored and were grateful and praised with blessings on altars and asked for her blessings. They also listened to her, right? And that helped them to see in a healthy way and also have a connection with their higher self that was also an earthly body connection. And I feel that that's just to me that in this area of our body gives us that ability and capacity to connect with the cosmos, to recognize the importance of what that can be about for us, particularly. Everybody's different. Everybody has a birth astrological chart. I follow archetypal astrology, not the I can't remember the other name right now, but with the houses and everything. And that also to recognize this united connection. So in the sacred marriage ritual, they bring together the ritual. Then there's the aspect of clearing away what we no longer need as we move forward into our higher self, or knowledge of our higher self, or connection there. And then that this is here one. It is one. And the pineal gland is really that, like, that when you think of animals, and how they scan, perceive, they're vigilant, right? This vigilance in a way that we're able to scope out and sense either what we are, it can be a threat, or that we are to move towards and into that, and that will help us with our trajectory, and then that aspect of wholeness and connection to the one, and feeling that connection to the one, that we are all, and we are able to uh, have that experience. It may only be a glimpse, but we're able at times to have that sense of oneness, that we're all here together and there's non-duality. So what I prepared in my mind for this breathwork technique at the third eye center is to focus on a diagram of a triangle. And we're just going to breathe through this diagram of the triangle with the image, and then kind of have it step out, so that we are also the subject and the object. That too, I think, is the idea that we can experience in this space. We can be the subject and the object, the witness and the observer. All right, so just go through it with me. The idea is to just do breathing normally. There can be a little pause of a hold in each space. Okay, so we're just going to go in. Takes a little bit of imagination. That is also in this space. Imagination is right here as well, as you can imagine. So just kidding with, the start of this conscious breathing mindfully, thinking about your inhale and your exhale. And then I'd like you to think of the point of a triangle at the very bottom of the triangle, starting there, and you're inhaling. If you just open your eyes, you can watch me. I'm drawing the diagram. You're inhaling, exhaling, moving up that diagonal, inhaling, coming back around to that triangle. Again, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, pause. And then we're going to start again. Inhaling, exhaling, moving up that diagonal, inhaling, pause. We're doing in this 2 inhales and 1 exhale. So we're at the beginning again. Inhaling, exhaling, moving up that diagonal to the point, to this point. Inhaling, coming back around to that bottom point. So go at your own pace, thinking of drawing this triangular diagonal symbol, and using your breath to do that, and just being present with that area of your body, the head center around the forehead. Just getting in connection with the energetic space in this area of your body. Another way you could do this, if the triangle didn't work for you, is to take your eyes, and I do this sometimes after that, is take your eyes like you're crossing them over, like your eyes are crossing over, intentionally crossing your eyes, and also breathing here. So you're looking up, crossing over, and you are breathing into this space. And I'm just going to share with you what happened to me naturally is that I saw the face of a feline, a lion, the feline lion. And this is an archetype for me, symbol or an archetype, Jungian archetype. And that too is where what happens in this part of the energy of your body is that's where the archetypes can emerge. So if you have an archetype, maybe that is going to be true for you. Maybe you want to think about that archetype that is maybe a part of you speaking through you, and that you still are very aware, you're in control, and you are in your human body. But yet that you hear this voice of this archetype or symbol speaking through you. And that's therein even further than the visionary, the shaman. And I believe too that the shaman sits in this part of the energy of your body. Like a strong, solid shaman will have worked through all of what they were needing to, peeling those layers away before they hold space and sit and really can listen to other people and hear what they have to say and match them like a mirror. So then, that's where like the triangle can come out of 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 the in your imagination, and you see the triangle and you experience the triangle at the same time. I know it might be a little much, but try it. Try it. Just give yourself a little time, bandwidth to just see if that is something that you can create in your mind and experience and what it's like for you. And however it is totally okay. That's what I say is people are where they're at. Like everybody's where they're needing to be in their process and their journey. And that aspect of the shaman sitting there in that energy space then can be the lighthouse, the guide. But you have the guide in you in any case. It doesn't have to be named or called anything. It's your inner guidance. That's what I love about tapping into this space, trusting that I know my intuition, my inner knowing, my and my understanding of what is true. That's how I see intelligence. Intelligence can go way beyond that, obviously, very logistically. But from what we're talking about in this perspective, and just taking a couple of more breaths. What do you see in your space, in your eyebrow, between your eyebrows? Do you see anything? Are there colors maybe even? What is it that is inside of you that wants to know or be seen? And trust in that, your inner guidance. So thank you for being with me. And I wanted to say that I've talked about the holotropic breath work. I've also written books. Like I said, those are on my website. And also, I have a breathwork and mindfulness course that you can do online that has all these different techniques and that I talk through with archetypes, with Jungian psychology, with symbolism, about how to apply all of this to our everyday life, how to work through what is difficult, challenging times in your life or as a collective together, and that we are all in this together, but each one of us is going through our own process And so, it might be worthy of checking out Breathwork and Mindfulness course that I have on my website. Read about it, and you can always reach out to me with any questions. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Blessings. Bye bye.